We're looking at a worksheet called Year Data. We've got some charts here. As I scroll up and down a little bit, you'll see that these charts are not quite complete. Now, they could have been created with the so-called quick method, Alt F1. For example, if I highlight this data here over on the left-hand side, and if I want a chart, I'll press Alt F1. And not bad, but the title isn't meaningful, and we're not sure what those numbers mean if we're looking at the chart only. So at times we need to fill in charts with additional information. And although you can add chart elements, many times it's going to be easier and faster to take advantage of one of the buttons on the Design tab called QuickLayout. So I just created this chart right here with Alt F1. I'm going to drag its upper left corner, that handle, upward to make it a little bit larger. And I certainly would want the title to stay there. I'll fill that in later. But I need a title down the left-hand side. I might want to reconsider grid lines, some other options. The legend is below the chart. That's not bad. It could be to the right. But if you're not sure about how to approach each of those different elements and how you might add them, take a look at the Quick Layout button. Now, this is a little gray and unappealing in one sense, and it doesn't exactly pull you in or entice you. But as you slide over some of these choices, and notice how they have interesting names like Layout 1, Layout 2, Layout 3, kind of hard to remember. And by the way, if it's a column chart here, you get 11 choices. For a bar chart or line chart, you might get fewer. But as you slide over these different choices, you see different kinds of displays of the different elements. For example, here's one with data labels. That's layout number 4. Here's the one below this that has a legend on the right-hand side. Doesn't have a main title, but has a title below and to the left. There's some others in here. When I use column charts, I usually gravitate toward layout number 9. Because it leaves room for a title on top, on the left-hand side, and below. It puts the legend on the right-hand side. Now, again, over time, you'll have some favorites. This one, by the way, also does put in the grid lines. Some don't. So this represents a quick way, particularly if you're not so interested in approaching this in a piecemeal way to say, I'm going to take care of this element and that element. Pick a favorite here. I'm going to pick this one. And although I'm not quite finished because I've got to do a little bit of typing, that's pretty much the way I might want my chart to look. So if I were to complete this right now, but I won't really, I'll click Chart Title, type in a title of my own choosing, all set. I'll click on the left-hand side, do the same thing there, and probably below too, but even if I don't want a title there, I'll click there and press Delete. Maybe I didn't want that part of it. So you can easily make some changes here, and for some people, that's all they really need to do. They don't have to worry about the details. Using the Quick Layout button on the left side of the Design tab is really helpful. Now I'm going to close this. I'll simply press the Delete key and click on the chart to the lower left. That's a stacked bar chart. Maybe I'll consider some changes there. I'll go back to the Design tab in the ribbon, choose Quick Layout. Notice that instead of 11 choices here, we have only 10. But the choices, again, are keyed to the current chart type, which is stacked bar. And we see different choices here. There's one that nicely puts the numbers on each segment of the bar. Room for a title on top, but nothing down the left-hand side. So we might want to make another choice here. But these essentially do a lot of work for you because they get the locations for the titles set up properly, and or they put in grid lines or do the kind of coloring or addition of data labels that you might prefer. And each chart type is going to be a little bit different. Here's a line chart, same general idea. Back to that Quick Layout button, and we see some choices here. Here there are 12 options. So lots of different choices to give us some ideas as to where we might want to put the various text entries and legends that we see on a chart.